Okay. You all, sorry, you get me in my car today, but it just sometimes that's the way it is, right? Got to multitask in our world. And so I want to welcome everybody to Lunch and Learn. These are just so much fun. And if you have people still getting on, they're recorded. The YouTube, if you're new to this group, it's just my name, Jennifer and Lowe. We do have a Facebook group too, and we put it on YouTube so you can look at all the past recordings on YouTube from all the other trainers that have just been incredible and just offering their go give hearts and time. Then it will also be posted usually by tomorrow afternoon. I have it in that Facebook group too. So you have that. Thank you for spreading the word. You can share this with all your different groups. I finally buckled down into the Facebook group everybody was asking me to do. I was trying to not do all that, but it just kind of took on a life of its own. So that's what we did. But recordings to the information, I know that's the first question everybody's always asked is, hey, can we share this with anybody? This is for brand new consultants all the way up to, I don't even care if corporate's on here. I don't care who's on here, right? We want everybody to build a benefit. And I don't know, I just feel we're better as a huge tribe and it's better as a community. And some of us are in different divisions and we would never get to meet or connect or hear from each other. And so I love this kind of as a midweek pick me up. And oh, hold on, I'm going to go. I can hear background. So I'm going to go, sorry, but I'm going to mute some of you and I love your faces.
That
Again, I'm
might be
sorry about
me. I'm sorry. I hear my dog barking.
that. Okay. Hey, sometimes we're multitasking when we get on here. I just don't want anyone to get offended by that. But I love y'all. Thank you for making this such a successful event. And thank you for sharing with people who need it. And we have the gorgeous Bridgette today. By the way, friend, I love your hair. That is so fun.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
fun. And so people have just been sending me requests like, Jenny, you got to have this person on here. Jenny, do you know this person? Or you should ask them or whatever. And so you came highly requested. And I've seen some of your stuff, but I haven't had the honor and privilege of meeting you in person or hearing from you in person. And so I just want to thank you because this truly is your time, which is valuable when we have big goals, the final 4 months, and just a go give thing that you're giving to so many women in the Mary Kay community. And I don't know if you know how big this is. So I always warn my speakers, listen, I have one gal that says she translates it and it sends it to her people in other countries. So I let them know, I know, isn't this fun? And I love that. And I said, whatever people need to do to get what they need. I just appreciate you, Bridgette, so much for leading the legacy that Mary Kay Ash asked us to do and truly just doing this go give opportunity for so many women. And so I'm going to let you take over because I love you to have as much time as you possibly can. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for asking me. It's such an honor. I'm excited to share with you guys today. So I am actually going to share a topic I've never shared before on training. And I'm going to talk about managing chaos and dysfunction to have a healthy team. So I figure that those of you guys who are on here either have a team or want to build a team, want to be a leader in the company. And so a little bit of chaos and a little bit of dysfunction is just going to be part of the process. Okay. And so I want to talk to you about healthy versus unhealthy. So part of being healthy is addressing when it's unhealthy, right? So a leader's job is to bring, if you picture like any leader, we're always bringing a group of people from where we are to where we want to be, right? And it's all different goals, all different timelines, all different everything. But basically, a leader is bringing a group of people from one place that they, are in now to where they want to go. And so we are thinking about how we assess there. All right. And we cast a vision for that. We're always talking about where we need to go, and we're talking about how to get there. We're mapping out, and we build systems and strategies that we feel like are going to get us from here to there. We tend to focus on the how. Am I right? So we want to start thinking about how we're going to treat each other as we go. What's it going to feel like as we go? And what's it going to feel like when we get there? So if the culture in your team is great, you're going to get there. Or if your culture in your team is not great, is what I mean. You're going to get from here to there. You can still get from here to there, but nobody wants to go again. Okay. It creates a lot of turnover, and we don't want that. We want our people to be with us forever, right? And so conversely, if you're focused on culture only, everyone loves the ride, but you never get to where you want to go. Can anybody relate with that? So clear strategy communicated with clarity and well executed is a game changer. So I'm going to say that again. Clear strategy communicated with clarity and well executed is a game changer. And just know, okay, so a quote by Peter Drucker: culture eats strategy for breakfast. A bad experience for a consultant can trump a great strategy, and good culture can overcome any bad strategy. And so we've probably all experienced this. Sometimes when things are just like really cooking and everybody's having a great time, it's sometimes you don't even need a strategy and everybody's just in it and enjoying it, and just things are just really, hopping. And then sometimes it's not. And so culture is hard to define, but you know it when you see it. Would you not agree? So culture is the way people are treated, the peers, the leaders. And have you defined your culture? Leah Laughlin does a masterful job, national sales director, at defining her culture. She has like a mission statement. She's got a what we believe statement, and it is not just a piece of paper. It's not just the paper you wrote it on. It's not just a manual if you just read it, but it is a guide that is your compass for you and your team. And have you done the hard work to step back for a moment? Like maybe you took a weekend, maybe you went for a coffee date with yourself at Starbucks and you took several hours just to think about, what is it that I want? What do I want it to feel like? What do I want everybody to feel like when we get there? What do I want the journey to look like? Because we have heard it said many times that it's the journey. It's the journey. It's not the end result. It's who you become in the process. And what do you want that to look like? I heard someone say, I believe it was Julie Thomas. She said, find someone who is where you want to be, who has arrived in the way that you want to arrive. Okay. And so that's what I want to talk to you guys a little bit about. So have you defined your culture? This is who we will be. We must take the time to figure that out, who we want to be. Culture, how do you build it? You must have trust. Honesty and truth is the only way to build trust, the only way. And truth builds and accelerates trust. All right, so how do you create culture? 4 ways to create culture: the stories we tell, the heroes we make, the things we celebrate, and the things we tolerate. So telling stories, emphasize the culture you are wanting. If you have a consultant on your team, or maybe you know of another consultant who did something the way that you would love for your team to show up, talk about that story. Tell that story. Get everybody excited about, conducting business in this way that this person did, or just the way she showed up for someone, or who she is. If you're sharing negative stories, that also shares a lot about your culture. Heroes. What heroes do we make? How often do we celebrate the activity and not the results? sometimes how often do we celebrate something like sticking your neck out for something? Sometimes it doesn't work out. But I've recently created an award on my team that that we're going to just be surprising people with. Like I hear about, so for instance, I have a consultant, she's newer and she is gutsy, man. She really wants this to work for her. And she has started doing some things, getting new leads, attracting new customers and things in ways that it scares me. It scares me. I'm not comfortable with it, but yet she is gutsy and she is doing it. And I'm going to, at the next event, I'm going to recognize her and give her a stick your neck out award, because I don't know if it's going to work out for her. It is awfully exciting to find out, but whether or not she succeeds in this or whether it's a flop this week, I'm not worried about the results. I'm going to award this award to her for sticking her neck out and trying something she got excited about. All right. So, and if it flops, I mean, that's not really something that you want to share with the unit, but we're going to share it anyway, because you never know until you try. Some of these great ideas we have in Mary Kay are only great because several people have now tried them and they worked for them. But there's a lot of ideas out there that I'm sure were tried and did not work out, but somebody still did the same amount of effort and stuck their neck out and it didn't work. And that's almost harder, right? Because then you're like, oh my gosh, then you play that whole head game. So let's reward that behavior, even if it doesn't work out. So culture is also created by what you tolerate. This is a hard one because we as women, or at least me, I don't like conflict. I'd almost sometimes rather let stuff go on than I stick my nose in it, because I'm just like a little afraid, like, oh, I don't want that like friction. I don't want to have to confront that, you know? But just know that gossip cannot be entertained. It cannot. And by not addressing something, we are allowing it. All right. Is there something going against your values that you are not addressing right now? You don't have to be a bully about it whenever you step in and, you know, halt the activity or whatever. But, you know, you might just need to sometimes there's a situation in which you might need to let someone know they're not headed in the direction that you're headed. It's okay. And they'll either step aside or they'll get going in the same direction that you are, right? So if you don't deal with it, you're going to start losing your good people. And you're going to be keeping the toxic ones. Okay? So also celebrate wins. And we all do this, but a new way or a different kind of way to think about it is have them brag on other people. Start a culture of who saw someone else doing something amazing this week? Who inspired you by their activity? Who did you see do something that you just thought was great? Have them brag on other people. It's so much more powerful. So whatever gets rewarded gets repeated. We know that. And so when you're thinking about systems and strategy versus culture, so whenever there's a systems and strategy issue, it always leads to chaos. Where you have a culture breakdown, it leads to dysfunction. All right. Systems and strategy issue leads to chaos. Culture breakdown leads to dysfunction. So is the problem that maybe you're thinking of that you've got going on right now, is it chaos or is it dysfunction? That's going to help you identify the problem. So dysfunction, some characteristics of dysfunction. I'm just going to run through these. These are culture issues. Gossip. First and biggest indicator. If you've got gossip, you've got dysfunction. You probably won't even need to know about the rest of these, because usually gossip shows up as quick as anything. So low trust, unhealthy competition, blaming, lack of ownership, laziness, mediocrity, power struggles, fear, using people versus valuing people. Okay. Symptoms of chaos. This is like systems, okay? Communication breakdowns, lack of follow through, lack of preparation or unrealistic goals or timeline. So these are easy problems to fix. You know, if you're having an event and someone doesn't prepare the training, you know, it wasn't communicated clearly, you know, for someone to get their training together. If someone forgets the decorations or the cake or whatever, you know, it's just because there's a lack of communication. You know, somebody didn't follow through. Someone didn't know what they were supposed to do. Chaos frustrates your team, right? We can have frustration. Chaos can frustrate our team. Dysfunction will deflate your team. And so we want to stay out of that dysfunction zone. So, all right. Well, that's all I really wanted to share with you guys. I hope I gave you guys some really just practical tools to support you and just loving your journey to get from here to wherever you want to go in the midst of all the not so fun things that we have to deal with.
Oh my gosh, I love that today. Because yes, they always say, you know, confused mind can do nothing. But these were what I loved about this. This is something we can internally, all of us, sit down, take a minute, think about, and be like, okay, because sometimes we are in that and we don't even realize it. And sometimes it's just tweaking a few things. If anybody had any questions for Bridgette or anything you wanted to say or affirm her, please go ahead and unmute. Sorry, I muted all of you. So if you thought you're unmuted, you're not. Go ahead and unmute, and then you can ask anything you want to ask her. And thank you again, my friend, for taking time. That was powerful.
My pleasure.
I'll give you all a few seconds to unmute. I loved it. And let me look in the chat real quick. Sorry, it's so weird when it's from your phone.
Well, Bridgette, I loved that you mentioned having them brag on each other. I think that's brilliant. I mean, that probably happens and I don't even know it, but that's one thing that I'm going to put into action for sure.
Good.
So
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I loved your random award that you just decided to do. I think that's genius because sometimes, you know, getting a new name or something like that, even for people that have done big, that's still nerve-wracking for some people. It's just a personality thing, right? And I think sometimes people think no matter where you are, if you're just starting, or even if you, like I said, you could be $1 million director and still have a fear of handing your card out. And we all need celebration in that. So thank you for that idea. That was amazing.
You're welcome. Well, I recently made a post like in a private Facebook group, and I was so scared to do that. And I'm like, if I'm feeling this way because people hide behind their computer screens and, you know, say things that aren't nice sometimes, like I can't imagine how a new consultant could feel doing this. And so I just decided I was going to celebrate sticking your neck out more and trying stuff to see if it's going to work for you.
Absolutely. I think so. Oh, I love all the stuff in the chat. Yeah, they love that idea. Yes. Thank you so much. And thank you all of you for being part of this and making this Lunch and Learn so successful on Thursdays. And I hope it can bless you and help you in any way or your friends. And like I said, share the recording. We will put it on probably within, it usually takes about 30 minutes, gets to my Zoom, put it on YouTube, all the things. And we'll have that out for you. And thank you for the inspiration, the motivation today, because it helps us all go on to, we are in our final 4. We got a lot of things to do and we want to do it the right way and that fun way, right? We don't want stress. We want this to be fun and enjoy that ride, like you said. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining today. I hope you have an amazing Thursday. And thank you again, Bridgette, from the bottom of my heart for just being what Mary Kay asked us to be. And so go give with your time. I appreciate you so much.
My absolute pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. You ladies have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye, ladies.
Love you. Bye.